Please welcome State Secretary Daniel Westland, State Secretary at the Ministry of Climate and Enterprise, for his address on what the strategic partnership spanning trade, technology, and climate holds for us. Fantastic to have you back once again for Engaging India at Almadal.
Thank you. It's my third time at Engaging India in Almedalen, and I'm really glad to be invited back again. So I hope my speech last year was good enough to get invited back. Seriously, it's an honor to be here with you in Engaging India at Almedalen. I see so many familiar faces, both from the Indian community, but also from the Swedish Friends of India community. The ever-growing number of both Indian and Swedish companies, institutions, and governmental agencies here at Almedalen working with bringing ideas of cooperation into real projects is truly inspiring. Sweden and India have developed a partnership grounded in more than a century of cooperation, mutual trust, and entrepreneurship. Our strong relationship, built over time, forms a solid foundation for today's collaboration. Yet, the last 6 months have brought many key milestones in our cooperation, milestones that enable deepened cooperation as well as setting a vision for the future. Early in the year, the EU-India Free Trade Agreement was signed, creating opportunities for more trade and partnering than ever before. In May, Prime Minister Ulf Kristersson was honored to receive Prime Minister Modi in Gothenburg, and just days later, our leaders met again in Oslo for a Nordic-India summit. Together with the new strategic agenda between the European Union and India and the free trade agreement that we expect will enter into force by early next year, our bilateral relationship is now at a new level of a new strategic partnership. The new strategic and upgraded partnership builds on 4 pillars: stability and security, economic partnership, emerging technologies, and trusted connectivity. And within my own field of work, people, planet, and resilience. In the heart of the section of people, planet, and resilience is a shared effort to accelerate the low-carbon transition of industry, scale concrete solutions in sectors like steel, transport, and energy, and drive the development of new green value chains. At the same time, the partnership is a broad and horizontal one that expands into clean technologies, sustainable cities, water systems, and critical minerals. At a time of growing geopolitical uncertainty, energy insecurity, and economic fragmentation, the world faces a defining choice: retreat into narrow national approaches, or strengthen partnerships that deliver growth, resilience, and sustainability together. This is why our partnership is much more important than ever before. Today's challenges of climate change, industrial transformation, and supply chain disruptions, energy transition, and the introduction of AI require a renewed spirit of practical and inclusive cooperation. Here we can lead the way together, governments and companies. Few challenges are as universal as climate change. It affects societies and economies across all regions, whether in India, Sweden, or elsewhere. The Prime Ministers of India and Sweden committed in Gothenburg to a third phase of the Leadership Group for Industry Transition, Lead It, which is central for us to spearhead a global and just industry transition up to 2030. The climate transition is not only an environmental matter, it is also central to competitiveness, economic resilience, and long-term growth. Emissions do not recognize borders, which is why our solutions must be international. The moment calls not for hesitation, but for collective leadership grounded in cooperation, innovation, and shared prosperity. AI solutions are already changing the way we work, what we can do, and at what speed. And it will change our use of information and have a myriad of impacts. AI will redefine the foundations of productivity, public services, defense, healthcare, and energy systems. The question is not whether this transformation will happen. The big question is who shapes it and on what values and rules. This is the reason why Sweden, together with Zambia, took leadership in the UN project for the Global Framework for Digitalization, the Global Digital Compact. If we are serious about AI-driven industrial decarbonization, clean energy is of utmost importance. You simply cannot scale AI or transform industry without abundant, reliable, fossil-free electricity. That is the foundation. I would like to express a sincere gratitude to India and to the Indian community here in Sweden and our partners in India for excellence and an ever-growing and closer cooperation. We see that Indian investors are looking at Sweden more than ever before, and private foreign investments from India to Sweden is growing, with a natural focus on the automotive industry in and around Gothenburg in the western part of Sweden. Both countries approach the future with optimism and a shared commitment to continued progress together. This is especially true for areas such as green industry transition, innovation, sustainability, and digital transformation. With Lead It and with the India-Sweden Joint Action Plan, we have defined a frame, a form, and a focus for our cooperation. What really stands out is the focus on moving from ambition to implementation, combining Swedish innovation with India's scale to deliver real impact, not just for our two countries, but as part of a global green transition. Sweden is a partner that aims to work with India in co-creation and co-innovation to build a more competitive future for both countries. We want to attract investment and the scaling up of sustainable solutions in both our countries to carry on creating a win-win relationship, as we have done since the early days of the 20th century when Swedish businesses first started to invest in India. Thank you so much for inviting me. It's always a pleasure to come to talk to you.
Thank you, Daniel.